Hi guys, today I'm going to Mod Podge an old metal butterfly that I received, well actually I bought it from Orchard Supply many years ago. I actually have two of these large butterflies and a dragonfly that I have out in my garden. I took about 10 to 15 years of country living and country home magazines that I had been saving. Don't ask me why, please don't judge. And I went through page by page, took out any recipe that I wanted to keep, and cut everything that I saw that was flower, garden, whether it was in a pot, out in the landscape, didn't matter. Anything that was connected to a flower or garden, I cut everything out. What happened was, when I first bought these years ago, I'm going to show you the back side of it because I spray painted this white. If I were to have not spray painted it white, this is what it looks like. The whole thing is metal. So when I originally bought it, it was covered in something very similar to this. All kinds of different flowers, and it was made out of a paper product because even when I did buy it, it was starting to begin to weather. Well, what happens is, because it gets so hot here in Central California, over time, with the rain and the sun, gets to well over 100 degrees for several months, between 90 and 115 in the summer. And by the time a few years had passed, the paper flowers were starting to peel, they were really starting to fade, and I thought, you know what, it's time for me to part with these magazines. So that's what I did. It took a couple of days and I cut out every flower that I could, and I thought I'm gonna, spruce these up and Mod Podge them. I will say you can spray, use spray adhesive, and I've done that before. The only problem with that is once you spray and put your print down, there's no give time. It's there and it's staying. The reason why I like using the Mod Podge is there's not much, but there's a little time to play with it if you want to kind of move it or adjust it. So you'll need scissors, probably a nice razor blade. This is a scrapbooking tool that I've had for many years. I like to use a foam brush and then a paintbrush just to get, the edges that are, not wanting to lay down real well. And actually, Mod Podge dries very quickly, so I could probably hang it up by the end of the day if I wanted to. So let's get going. Okay, so I wanted to show you real quick before I put the top coat of the Mod Podge on that this is what it looks like. I forgot to tell you in the beginning, the reason why I painted the butterfly white to start off with instead of putting it right on the bare metal is because I knew that there would be some negative space. I didn't do that on the others. Looking back, I wish I had. And so when looking at it from a distance, you won't see all that darkness show through on the spaces that I didn't quite get all the flowers on. And that's why I covered it in white. What I'm going to do now is put one more coat of the Mod Podge over the whole thing, just like this. I know it looks white right now, but it'll dry clear, and that'll help keep it on and stick it so it stays there good. And then I'll go back with a razor blade or an X-Acto knife, and then I'll run it right along the edges, just like this. And that'll make a clean edge from any part of the flowers or the paper that hung over the edge. I would give it about 24 hours for it to dry before you put it outside, and if possible, unless you live in a real mild temperature area, I would probably have it face north or east because I had some of mine, even the east facing butterfly that I have, I can already see that it's starting to fade, just because once spring is over and summer begins, we can wake up 9 o'clock in the morning and already be 90 degrees. And that heat is really intense, and of course the sun takes a lot longer for it to shift. And if it's in an enclosed patio area or where it's not affected by the elements, it'll stay brighter longer. When exposed to the sun, it will begin to fade. But for all it cost me was, the original price that I paid for the butterfly, and when it started to fade and peel, I was a little bummed, but then I realized I have 20 years worth of Country Home, Country Living magazines, and I thought, well, it's probably time to part ways with those, and I got all these images for free. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye!